This is our stomping ground today. My client's home that we're there is just over here, on the other side of this field. We break with the dogs first. Come on in. And I was just in here for about 5 minutes before I decided to go back to the car and get my phone to film. Because it got me thinking about what is real affection to a dog, you know. And Stitch's real affection is rolling about in the dirt. That's real affection. So I know of so many dogs that, and I'll go a bit more in detail in a wee sec, but okay, I'll start with that. So the last few days I've been seeing clients like I do every day, and it's just the same in England as it is in Scotland, that all these clients have been to, you know, vet behaviourists or force-free trainers or purely positive or whatever, the modern scientific, whatever they call themselves. And here are there are four responses for every dog that I have seen, okay? And it only ever comes under one of these four responses to help or seemingly help or change a behaviour. Number one is avoid the issue. So avoid the issue. Dog goes crazy at a door, put up a baby gate, put it in another room. It isn't good with other dogs, go and keep it away from dogs. Okay, number one, avoid the issue. Number two is medicate the dog. I had a dog that had to wait. Luckily, in a way for them, I'm a couple of months in advance, but they had to wait a month or two for the dog to come off all its drugs, its medication, its Xanax and things that were things that were, you know, really drugging the dog up so they wouldn't really move. That was the wee French bulldog yesterday. So drugging the dog, medicating the dog is what the second thing. Third is kill the dog. Yep, put the dog down. That would be the third option that you have. So we've got already so far, we've got medicate the dog, we've got drug the dog, we've got avoid the issues. That's really, there was a fourth one that's just went out of my mind. What was the other one? There was another client just had, and it was a fourth option. I'm like, yeah, that happens all the time. You've got drug the dog, you've got avoid the issue, kill the dog, or, you know, rehome the dog. And the reality is, fourth is rehome the dog. And the reality is, when you're not actually tackling an issue, you're not going to be able to rehome the dog. So it's going to get put to sleep anyway, which just means they kill it, they don't put it to sleep. So it got me thinking, you know, what is real affection? Because this had been to behaviourists that all advise that things like certain tools are cruel and bad, you know, which is not true at all. I mean, all tools are the way you use the tool. You can use a tool in a good or a bad way. I mean, we probably had never more obese dogs than we do nowadays. So that's a tool of food, but used completely wrong. The client yesterday was advised by a vet behaviourist that maybe she should just never walk the dog. Just never walk the dog. The dog's not good outside, and instead of actually tackling changing the issue, this is the same person who said that remote collars or prong collars, things like that, that they deem as aversive or punishers, the dogs, they're cruel and barbaric and never should be used. So this is a dog that's prong collar and e-collar trained, you know, right here. Look how cruel and abused he is. Ready. Come on, peg leg. Yeah. But yeah, never walk the dog. You know, the dog's like not even 2 years old. Never walk the dog. Well, definitely low. Go! Go! They love this long grass. Go! Ready, go! Loving the long grass. You want a dog truly happy? Don't avoid issues. Okay, you have to tackle the issues. Now I completely understand before maybe you see someone like myself and your dog's not good with dogs, that you avoid dogs. It's totally acceptable, totally fine, because you're not going to get in the swimming pool if you don't know how to swim. That's totally fine. But having the understanding that that is not sorting the problem, but you can have the problem sorted. You can. You just need to get the right trainer. A minute ago they were totally just lying about in the grass, like cows chewing the cud. And that's what got me thinking, this whole little spiel, I guess, that I'm doing here, is what is real affection to the dog? You know, this right now is real affection. You know, this is what a dog wants and longs for, you know. It's like my dogs, for example, slept in the boot of my car last night, and the whole night the boot was open. I was there with them, but the whole night the boot was open. And they're lying, chilling in the boot. It's like nice 20 degrees, 18, 20 degrees, chilling. And it just got me thinking, it's like, this is what really, I guess, everybody watches this sort of thing. That's surely your dream, is that you can just have off-leash freedom and control. Go! Ready, go! This is real affection. Having a pile of treats or a pile of toys in a basket in a house that a dog doesn't get even out of, that's not affection. This is affection. This is what it's all about. You, what is going on with you? You're meant to be running around chasing this little thing. You, get. There we go. This is real affection. And it brings you on to thinking as well, things like how far a dog should be away from you. I've had people recently talk about, you know, maybe they're doing remote collar training with their dog, which really basically means they can, whatever distance that collar has, once trained properly and taught, you can control the dog pretty much effectively. Nothing is ever bomb-proof, of course, but pretty much effectively in any situation. What are your ears all about, Junior? What are your ears all about, Junior? Ready? Ready? Yeah, that's it. We just want to get a nice picture. Very good. Go! Ready? And they were saying, you get an e-collar that's 5 mile radius sort of thing, and it's like, yeah, but this really is as far. Like, here my dogs have as far, they could go as far as they like. I personally, my rule and my boundary is I never want my dogs more than, 30 metres from me. And the reality is, what you find is wherever you walk, the dogs never really want to be 30 metres from you either. Let's get a photo of this handsome fella. Look at him, it's like a freaking cow chewing the grass here. So that's real affection. And it's funny because people that would watch this, or they wouldn't watch it, but people that are against me wouldn't watch something like this. They would just say, balance training, or people that use yes and no with a dog are cruel and barbaric and torturing, and they're ruining relationships. And well, the reality is, this dog training is results based. So you should be. I was having a good conversation with a lady last night who was deciding to pick what trainer she wanted to pick. She had phoned around and I guess looking at prices and stuff and availability. And I was like, listen, if you've got someone who's cheap and can come in 2 days, straight away you probably wouldn't go near them. Secondly, you've got to look at the type of training that they offer, that they advertise. So if they're flinging in words like force-free and only kind and positive training, that's just all a gimmick to get you guys. It's just an absolute gimmick. And what he's going to do is going to leave you with less money in your pocket and the dog either worse off or exactly the same. Generally worse off. So the third thing with picking a trainer is usually they should be able to have evidence of footage of, first of all, their own dogs. They should be able to show you with their own dogs the results. Whether you have dogs from, I've got the most extreme cases where I've had dogs from dog fighting, and dogs that have killed dogs before, etc., and are now amazing with all dogs. And I trust, you can never really trust 100%, and it's like, well, you know, in some, you really kind of can. You know, I mean, I've had Rex, for example, for over a decade, and it's not even necessarily about that they're a robot, but you just know them. So you know certain situations where you need to give a bit more leadership and control, but they should be able to show you with their own dogs. And if they can't do that, or they try and bring a stuffed dog, a fake dog, gee whiz, man, why would you even, before you know what, you deserve to have money taken off you if you look at that and think, oh yeah, that's what I want. Right, Stitch.